Due to the defamation case that the GFA has decided to act upon media houses that decide to scramble upon their name, we will not talk about the GFA this time around, and we are not going to try and slander their name. This time we're going to talk about the results and highlights from match week 9. So let's get started. The rules are we do not own the TV rights at the current holders at start times, which means that all the games will not be on TV and that some of the matches will not going to be shown on TV. That's rule number 1 in this video. The second rule is that we only talk about the matches shown on TV. We only give you context about those matches. For example, if a Hearts and a Kotoko are not on TV, we won't talk about their matches. But if Karela and RTU are on TV, we'll talk about what is going up to the game, etc., etc. You know that. And rule number 3, we'll go through the rest of the matches according to the game week to give you the full results and tables using our website and others for clarification. Which means that after we have gone through all the TV matches, we'll just give you a brief summary of all the matches that took place during that same game week for others to know what is happening around the league and give you the full table. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, which means that the Accra Sports Stadium will not be available at least until 2023, after the previous programs that were carried out has done a lot of damage straight to the pitch. The state is now in a very bad state, according to the source from Ghana Web, which is now on the screen, and it tells you how bad the stadium looks. How can a stadium go from this type, which was taken by the NSA as their profile picture, to this, which even to my standards just tells you how bad the stadium is for use in 2023. But again, I don't blame the NSA because the place is theirs to own. But I do have a problem with the Accra NSA boss, who in time should warn the FA, or the FA and the NSA should be able to communicate together to tell what is going to happen. But everyone should expect that during December the facilities will not be in use. So right now, clubs would have to relocate, and even Cape Coast is starting to show defects. As I said, I will not confirm or deny any such statements against the Cape Coast Sports Stadium because I do not have any proof or evidence to back it up. But it just tells you how bad the space is starting to replay. The clubs affected now are House of Folk, Great Olympics, and Accra Lions, as they have to search for new venues, whilst the other clubs that are using the facilities, that's as either in the Division 1 or the Division 2 or maybe the Women's Premier League clubs, will now have to search for new venues to be able to play their matches. And one of the things that I have said about it is that clubs need to have their own stadiums, but we are still looking for the 16 youth and sports facilities that were designed by the MPP government in 2016 by the former minister Honorable Kwame Asiama. But since he left office, the new minister is Mustafa Ahmed. At least with Kwame Asiama, he would normally update us with what the progress work were on those facilities. But unfortunately, we have Mustafa Yusuf, who hasn't really briefed us. But I'm just trying to encourage him that he should tell us more about these stadiums, because seriously, you can't expect clubs to use state-owned stadiums when they are not even ready and available for use. That's just my rant, by the way. And look, just focus more on the Premier League clubs instead of the Black Stars, just for a change. Alright, now let's begin the video. Monday saw the return of football action in Ghana as Accra Lions host Samatex in the Premier League. Unfortunately, this match was supposed to be taken on Matchday and Adepa Channel 247, but because of technical issues, the game couldn't be shown on any branch of television. But hey, they decided to give you a replay of that matches, so you at least got some time to watch the match. Coming into this game, both teams looked like they were going to have the control, but Accra Lions knew what they were going to do with the ball. And in terms of power rankings, Accra Lions seemed favourite to win this game. And in their last 5 matches, Accra Lions failed to win their 2 games against Accra House of Folk and King Faisal. Where at the other hand, Samatex finally got their 2 wins against Kotoku Royals, who are struggling, against a Karela United team that also have new ownership. The first goal was scored by Samatex through Gaisu Ibrahim in the 11th minute. However, in the 40th minute, Hagan Frimpong scored an equalizer from a set corner. As I said, we didn't watch the match, and both teams were trying to find their way, but Accra Lions were the team that were desperate to score the winner. But unfortunately, The game ended as a draw, not what Accra Lions would have hoped, but at least a bit of consolation after coming back from 2 straight losses. And for Samatex, it just keeps improving their game as they are new to the Premier League. At the Dunes Park, Noah Mate's goal was the only goal that came between Real Tamale United and Bibiani Gold Stars. This when Bibiani Gold Stars are now unbeaten in 4 games, and their next game is against Aduana Stars, whilst RTU need to play against Accra Lions. Tuesday was a bit chaotic when Nswatraman hosted Accra House of Folk at their stadium, and Nswatraman are unbeaten at that place since last season's Division 1 league, and now they were promoted. Their last 5 league games suggest that Nswatraman came against Betpawa United but lost by 3-0, while House of Folk in the 5 games that are listed below have not been defeated, with their draw coming against Dreams FC after a bit of controversy, but we're not going to talk about that. Nswatraman head coach Mohamed Gago has set up his team to be tactically flexible, while Slavko Matic decided in his press conference said that they were going to play attacking football. Something that no Accra House of Folk needed, but at the end of the day, they still needed to play attacking football to get the results. Their linchpin Salifu Ibrahim comes back after a long injury layoff and out of form, but you can trust that in Nswatraman midfield that they were cautious and waited for his chances. In the first half, nothing went their way throughout the whole of the season, but they found a way to stay unbeaten at home, and the media team of Nswatraman needs to be applauded. Whilst Accra House of Folk were coming into this game knowing that some of the players would have to depart them for the Chan tournament, which is going to be held in Algeria in January, which means it gave chance to the team to be able to use fringe players who were either sitting on the bench or would not get a place in the starting lineup, with the addition of youngsters into the bench. This game showed that House of Folk were destined to win based on their power ranking. And in terms of control, House of Folk have improved, if not actually have shown their attacking power since Slavko Matic took over from the departed Samuel Boedu. The team made 6 changes to the side that played their last Premier League game of the November calendar schedule. Daniel Efriye Banye, Kosa and Awako were not available for the trip as they were preparation for Black Galaxy's World Chan campaign. As Nswatraman made changes, but as again, they hadn't played football in almost 2 months, so give them a break. In the first half of the game, Nswatraman were just bossing Accra House of Folk, so much so that Accra House of Folk could not get chances, and Nswatraman came close in 2 attempts as the goalkeeper for the team, Richmond Ayi, had to be on guard to save most of their chances, coming from either set pieces and or maybe good football. And again, the game was lacking a bit of technical quality as most of the chances did fall through to Nswatraman, but they just couldn't put the ball back in the net against Richmond IE, which told the tale about the team. Salifu Ibrahim, the man of House of Folk, was just quiet in the first half and couldn't really do much of the attacking possession when they were on the ball, and it seemed like House of Folk just needed to twist a few gears. But luckily in the second half, they just controlled the ball. As the player on your screen, Kojo Obeng Jr. scored what you would call the most easiest goal he would ever score in his life, as House of Folk just made a pass which was destined for the goalkeeper. But Afaju didn't really communicate with the defender properly, which resulted in Kojo Obeng Jr. just walking the ball into the net and gave House of Folk the win. House of Folk were just in the second half unplayable, and whatever Nswatraman did by changing the players, it wasn't enough, as Isaac Mensah was just there helping Obeng Jr. just destroy the team. And in the second half, Salifu Ibrahim came to life and was just tormenting the players. House of Folk won their game by 1-0, thus ending Nswatraman's home streak and improving theirs to 6 wins without defeat. Another game that took place that same day was Accra Great Olympics against Aduana Stars, and both teams made significant changes through the team after they engaged themselves in club friendlies. But at the end of the day, it was Aduana who got the winning goal from an unlikely goal scorer in Gripman, who scored an own goal to give Aduana not only the win, but also claiming the top spot in the Ghana Premier League. The game also was really chaotic as Great Olympics were just controlling the game. As we said, we didn't see the match, but you could see from the stats that Aduana just needed 1 goal, whether it was lucky or not, just to pick up the victory. For Great Olympics, this makes it back-to-back losses against Aduana and 5 losses in 6 games against Aduana. Asante Kotoko hosted Brekum Chelsea in what we called a lackluster stadium attendance. Come on, guys, you can do better. But Asante Kotoko's games against Brekum Chelsea have shown that Brekum Chelsea has had their number. Asante Kotoko losing their last game against Real Tamale United, whilst Brekum Chelsea won their game against Accra Gate Olympics coming into the game at Kumasi. The team also had a sticky spell of patches with 2 losses and 2 draws, whilst the same Asante Kotoko won 2 games but lost 2. In the terms of power ranking, this really showed that Asante Kotoko were going to win this match, but something really was very interesting here as Asante Kotoko has recorded 1.2 goals per game, whilst Brekum Chelsea had conceded 1 goal per game to Asante Kotoko's 0.9. In terms of power play or play control, Asante Kotoko was normally going to dominate the ball, but the thing about it was that the dangerous chances would come from Brekum Chelsea, as Asante Kotoko would like to attack a lot but really didn't come out of nowhere, whilst Brekum Chelsea were handicapped but knew how to attack beautifully. In terms of goals for and against in their last 10 games, it takes only 5.2 shots for Brekum Chelsea to score a goal against Kotoko's 5.9, and their conversion rate is 6.9 against 4.2. In terms of first half, second half, Kotoko had conceded a whopping 8 goals per game or 0.8 goals per game in the second half to Brekum Chelsea's 3.3, which means that Brekum Chelsea in the second half are just tight and you couldn't break them, whilst Asante Kotoko could be leaky at times. Asante Kotoko played a 4-2-3-1 formation just to overlap the wingers, whilst Brekum Chelsea decided to play a 4-2-3-2-1 Christmas tree formation to contain the midfield. And the first goal came about when Sapon scored a goal from a loose clearance by Andrews Apau. This was Sapon's gift as Andrews Apau didn't clear the ball well and looked confused. If you look from the video once again, you would see that the ball was crossed by Afu, who didn't really give a good ball, but was able to find Apau, who mistakenly cleared the ball badly, which led to Sapon just hitting the strike, passing Danlad Ibrahim. The game was neck and tag until the changes were made by the coach, and then brought on Zeze for just to unlock the midfield and help them creatively after Apau's terrible first half performance, and it finally resulted in a goal as Kotoko decided to play free football and finally scored the goal through Samuel Zeze himself. The ball was through by Mukwala, who found Zeze and maybe just a bit of direction or deflection, whatever happened, it went inside and Kotoko did not care. And in the second half, right before the second half, this goal was scored. So you could tell that pressure was coming in from Kotoko and the main man Zeze was not really going to stop. And Asante Kotoko finally got their second goal after Steve Mukwala headed home a beauty from Enoch Morrison's cross, which scored the perfect goal as Asante Kotoko were leading the game by 2 goals to 1. It was a perfectly constructed cross which delighted even this man himself as he was watching the game. If you can see, the cross was just beautifully headed home by Mukwala, who got it past Jeffrey, who was the goalkeeper for Brekum Chelsea at the time. The final score ended the game by 2 goals to 1. After it was a KD affair, but unfortunately for Brekum Chelsea, they couldn't win the game and Kotoko caught the W. And as you can see, Brekum Chelsea had only 1 shot on target which resulted in a goal, whilst Asante Kotoko just kept pressing them. And as you saw from the earlier stats, Kotoko just had more dangerous attacks in them than Brekum Chelsea, who had 61. In the other matches, Legon City bodied Kotoku Royals by 3 goals to 0. Goals from Jonah Atukwe and Kofi Koji, who scored a penalty, with Alex Axel, who got the man of the match, finally scoring to confirm the 3-0 win for Legon Cities. In the other game, Betpawa United and Tamale City drew 0-0 in what was very cagey, but everyone expected Betpawa United to win. And Tamale City getting a draw at Betpawa is not really a bad result for them, as they also came out of some struggling draws. Karela also got back to at least points on the board when they drew against Midiama in the Western Derby, in a game that was very tough and very tense. But at the end of the day, both teams will not complain, as Midiama only moved up a little bit, as Karela just slightly moved above the relegation zone. And in the final game, Dreams FC beat King Faisal to derail King Faisal of getting 4 wins in a row, and by scoring them by 2 goals to 0. This result also helped Dreams FC go out of the bottom table, and King Faisal now losing their game. So, at the end of the match week 9, as Joanna Stars are the one leading the table with 19 points, with Asante Kotoko and House of Food chasing them, and Bibiani Gold Stars, Accra Lions, Legon Cities, Great Olympics, Beijing United and Eswatini all going in that order from 4th to 9th. In the bottom half, Kotoku Royals simply just can't get out of the relegation zone, with Tamale joining them and King Faisal now dropping after being out of the relegation zone for a while. Richmond, Nakarela, Samantex, Midiama, Dreams, Real Tamale United and Breaking Chelsea are all out of the bottom table, but by just the skin of their teeth. Unfortunately for us, this is where the video ends, as we will not be doing FA Cup matches. So for us, this will be a rest stop. But like the video and share the video and subscribe, and tell us which matches surprised you in the weekend. Was it the Inswatramain losing at home, or was it the destruction of Kotoku Royals? See you later, and thank you for watching.